Snake, do you remember the sinking of that tanker 2 years ago?
Of course.
Terrorists blow a hole in an oil tanker full of crude barely 20 miles off the shore of Manhattan. Your classic nightmare. It didn't take long for the government to put an oil fence around the whole mess. And then that massive offshore cleanup facility went up inside.
The Big Shell. I hear the cleanup isn't quite over yet.
It takes time, but in the meantime, the shell's become a landmark, a symbol of environmental protection.
Calling teams Alpha and Bravo. Deploy at the Big Shell as scheduled.
Approximately 6 hours ago, the Big Shell was seized by an armed group.
Do we have an ID?
Former members of the Navy SEALs Special Anti-Terrorist Training Squad Dead Cell. Russian private army members may also be involved. It's a highly trained group and they have the Big Shell under complete control.
Come in from downwind and pull up fast. Get ready to fast rope down to Shell 1. 5 minutes to ETA. Alpha, your top priority is to rescue and safeguard the President. Team Bravo, watch out for Stillman's back and get those C4s disarmed.
What are their demands?
$30 billion.
$30 billion? What makes them think they can get that much?
There was a government-sponsored tour going on at the Big Shell that day.
Hostages, huh?
A VIP from one of the major conservation groups, and one from our own government. The most important person in a sense.
The most important person?
James Johnson.
The President?
Unless the demands are met, the terrorists intend to blow the Big Shell out of the water.
And the crude will ignite, turning the Manhattan Harbor into an inferno.
That's not the worst-case scenario. If the chlorides being used to decontaminate the seawater go up with the oil, toxins containing catastrophic levels of dioxins will be released. In other words, the bay's ecosystem will be wiped out, and the sea will turn into a toxic soup for centuries, becoming the worst environmental disaster in history. You have 2 mission objectives. 1, infiltrate the offshore decontamination facility Big Shell and safeguard the President and other hostages. And 2, disarm the terrorists by any means necessary. You should know that SEAL Team 10 is also conducting a rescue operation.
Is this a joint effort?
No. Foxhound remains a covert body. Don't alert them to your presence. That is an order.
This is Snake. I'm now inside Strut A of Shell 1.
How are things?
We're in luck. Looks like there are no sentries posted here.
What's the visibility?
The lights on the plant's struts are functioning. I won't have to use the IR goggles.
Any problems?
There was a brand new hole cut through the oil fence. There's someone else besides me that wanted to get in badly.
That's not possible.
What about SEAL Team 10?
They landed on the roof of the Big Shell as planned. And by the way, Snake, we're changing your code name for all following communication.
What's wrong with Snake?
Just a precaution. You are now designated Raiden. All right, Raiden. You've already covered infiltration and VR training.
I've completed 300 missions in VR. I feel like some kind of legendary mercenary.
Okay, we'll skip that part.
Make sure nobody sees you. If you need to, contact me by codec. The frequency is 140.85. When you want to use the codec, push the back button. When we need to reach you, contact you, the codec will beep. When you hear that noise, press the back button. The codec's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it.
All right. I'll contact you if anything changes.
First, make your way to the upper section of the Big Shell.
How do I get up to the next level?
There's an elevator at the far end of that area. Use that.
Sounds good.
Your new sneaking suit uses electrofiber technology, a byproduct of fiber optics research. The texture isn't far removed from rubber, but the material protects against a wide range of toxic substances. The suit itself has a wide array of built-in sensors. It is referred to as smart skin in military R&D. Data about damage to different regions of the body, including blood loss, is exchanged between the suit and the intravenous nanomachines to create a feedback system.
There's a lot of pressure on my torso.
Relax. The suit applies varying pressure to major internal organs to maximize performance and safeguard their functions. They call this the skull suit in Foxhound.
Skull suit seems appropriate somehow.
The hatch with a circular handle will open into the elevator area. Locate the hatch first.
Copy that. Moving on to main mission objectives.
Raiden, first get to the upper section of the big shell. Take the elevator in the north end of the area. To get to the elevator area, go through the connecting passageway to the north. The passage is behind a watertight hatch. It should look like a door with a circular handle. You're currently using artificial blood primed with nanomachines.
What did you do with my own blood?
It's being kept in cold storage. It will be circulated back into your body when you return. If the life gauge drops to the red zone, you won't be able to stop the bleeding by yourself. Bloodstains can give your presence away to the enemy. Be careful. To stop the flow, select a bandage from among your items. You can also go into a crouch or crawl and stay completely still for a while. All you have to do is stop moving for a duration of time, and your nanomachines will arrange for platelets to be produced in large numbers. The bleeding will stop as a result. The punch is the basis of hand-to-hand combat. Push the punch button. Hit it repeatedly to do a combo and take out the enemy. Unlike in VR training, you can fight in first-person view also. Use that to your advantage. Move in close to the enemy when you have no weapon selected. You can throw him with the weapon button. The throw inflicts greater damage than the punch. Keep that in mind.
No doubt.
Move in behind the enemy and push the weapon button without touching the left stick. You can put him in a chokehold. If you keep applying the choke, you can take him out altogether. The level of lethality is strictly your choice. Raiden, push RT or LT while in first-person view to strafe right and left respectively. You can use the strafe to quickly slide out of cover and scan the area. Of course, you'll be spotted more easily when you're visible. If you spot a terrorist coming your way, let go of the button and duck back into cover. Once you see the codec screen, set the frequency by moving the left stick left and right. Push the left stick up or hit the enter button to start a call on that frequency. The codec is also capable of retaining the frequencies that you contacted in its memory. Lean the left stick down in the codec screen to activate the memory window. The memory window displays a list of frequencies used to date. Select a frequency and push the enter button to start a call on that frequency. Raiden, when you're flattened against a corner, you have the ability to survey the scene behind you while staying concealed. This is called the corner view. Use it to find an opening in their surveillance and move ahead undiscovered. Strafing is allowed, unlike in VR training. Peek by using LT and RT, and make jump-out shots with the weapon button. Take advantage of the different options.
Look at all these bugs. The seawater is polluted with crude oil, and yet they can still survive.
It's an altered bug that can resolve crude oil.
Altered?
Yes, through genetic engineering. It was created in the lab to combat frequent oil spills. It doesn't exist naturally. The bug is genetically altered with DNA from a bacteria called Pseudomonas, which can decompose crude oil. It has an enzyme in its body that can break up oil, and was modified so it instinctively consumes any crude oil that it absorbs. One of the reasons the Big Shell has little oil pollution is because of this bug. It also helps in reducing costs and the number of spill maintenance workers. It's a form of bioremediation. It's for the most part innocuous, so no need to be worried. Those bugs have ravenous appetites. Be careful that they don't end up eating your rations. Shake your equipment to protect the items from sea lice. Raiden, over there is the submarine for deep sea dives. It is apparently used in repairing submerged areas of the Big Shell and for studying deep sea ecosystems and changes in water quality. It can dive to depths of around 500 meters at a maximum speed of roughly 3 knots. In addition to its normal water-resistant lighting, it is also outfitted with lighting resistant to muddy water. I doubt that you'll get it to work, though. That submarine is not operational. It doesn't pose any threat. Forget about it and return to your duties. You could probably get in down there if you crawl. If you hide well, you can probably escape when being pursued by the enemy. Whenever you crawl into a narrow space, the camera will automatically switch to intrusion view.
Push the left stick up to move forward, down to move back. Push left and right to turn in those directions.
Keep an eye on the enemy and proceed undercover at all times. You absolutely cannot afford to be spotted. Unlike in VR training, you can use your gun from intrusion view in the field. Keep that in mind.
All right.
Raiden, you should be used to the controls by now. Proceed with your mission. The clock is ticking. Get on the elevator on the far side of this area and get to the upper section of the Big Shell.
Whatever.
Raiden, I don't think that door will open. Find another route to the other side. Look down near your feet. See that duct? Ducts can be crawled into. If you see an approximately waist-high railing, push the action button near it. You will be able to climb over the railing and hang down from the other side. This is referred to as hanging. Not only does it allow you to stay out of the enemy's sight, you will be able to reach locations that are otherwise inaccessible.
Colonel, there's a gym suit.
Looks like a high barometric pressure diving suit. By maintaining barometric pressure within the suit, it should allow its wearer to carry out work at sea depths of as much as 300 meters. But it doesn't look even remotely usable. It's a very old model.
Yeah, and it's rusted all over. It doesn't even look like it's been used.
Right, that diving suit doesn't look like it works. Forget about it and return to your duties. Raiden, there's a locker over there. It's a good place to conceal yourself from enemy patrols. Face the locker and press the action button to open the door. Walk into the open locker and close the door to hide. Push the action button again to get out of the locker. You can see what's going on outside through the slit. Go into first-person view and make sure the coast is clear before you walk out. You can also knock out and drag enemy personnel over to an open locker and hide their bodies inside. Open a locker, and in an exchange of gunfire, the door can serve as a shield. This can be helpful when there's no other cover in sight. Raiden, that door is watertight.
Yeah, I know how to open it. We covered it in VR training.
True. Proceed with caution.
Colonel, I've sighted an enemy sentry. AN-94 and a Makarov. Those grenades, all his equipment, is Russian-made.
Must be a Gurlukovich man.
Gurlukovich?
A Russian private army that was in line to work with the Shadow Moses takeover group 4 years ago.
What's their stake in this one?
They must have made a deal, an arrangement with the terrorists. They've become a band of mercenaries, an army without a country.
Colonel, there's definitely another intruder in here besides me.
That's not a possibility.
Not a team. Looks like a solo job.
One man.
We may not know who he is, but he managed to take care of every sentry in the area. They're all out cold. Whoever he is, he's got some skills.
We need to get an ID. But for now, you can take advantage of the situation and get to work. There's a terminal in front of the elevator, a node.
Did you say nerd?
Not nerd, node.
Oh,
Use the node to gain access to the Big Shell's facilities network.
then what?
Pull up the map of the structure. That'll let you activate the Soliton radar.
The Soliton radar? True. That radar came in useful during VR training.
A radar system uses biological magnetic fields as input. These estimated enemy positions are projected onto a map according to reference points collected via GPS signals and field personnel reports. We need to get to the map through the Big Shell's node to put this data processing to practical use. The node unit is about 3 feet high, should be colored blue. Each area has at least one.
How do I gain access?
Just push the action button in front of the node. The nanomachines in your body will take care of the security clearance and allow you access to the node. Complete the procedure before those sentries gain consciousness. If they spot you, you won't be able to gain access for a while. Stay on guard.
Got it. Colonel, I remember this place.
Of course you do. This is level 1 from the VR missions.
You're right. I see it now.
You may not have field experience, but you've been trained in the hyper-reality of simulated combat. Don't give in to fear. Just do as you were trained and everything will be all right. Raiden, you won't be able to use any of the enemy's equipment.
Why not?
You should know that all active weapons are equipped with a personal identification system. The owner enters their required user ID information during the weapon registration or at the start of a mission. If anyone other than the registered user tries to fire the weapon, the ID system will not authorize the action.
But these are black market Russian weapons. How can they be equipped with identification functionality?
They must have been customized by the terrorists themselves. These are professionals we're dealing with, and they certainly won't let their own equipment be used against them.
I'm guessing it's the same for the Navy SEALs gear?
Right.
How am I supposed to procure weapons then?
Find the ones that haven't yet been individualized. Everything you find in the item box is clean. You should know this from your VR training.
Okay, I know those.
Items in the item box are yours to use at will. They will be your supply source with regards to weaponry and gear. The elevator seems to be stopped on the upper floor. You will have to wait for it to come down. You see the node to the east? Access it for now. Right. The computer terminal you see over there is what's called a node.
This?
Right. Log into it right now. Stand in front of the node and push the action button.